Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way today for our live match watch along as Watford travel to Coventry to hopefully get our season back on track somewhat. I'm James. If you don't know who I am already, thank you so much for joining me here today. And yeah, a very, very interesting team that was released by Chris Wilder. We'll get through all of that in just a second. But if you are watching the stream, let me know how you're doing in the chat. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. But 6 changes to the Watford team. Obviously, one of the changes was enforced after Daniel Batman got sent off for his ridiculous kung fu kick. So I'll quickly go through the team, and then I do have a guest we'll bring in to join me for the watch along as well. So it's Ben Hamer in goal, Hamza Chowdhury, Imran Louza, Joao Pedro. Hassan Kamara comes back into the starting 11. Ryan Porteous at the back. Ismail Assar is also back in the starting 11 after his cameo appearance against Huddersfield. DeAndre Bacuna comes in as well. Britt Assombalonga, who scored in that Huddersfield game, he comes back into the starting 11 with Wesley Hoot and a Watford Academy player making their debut in this game. Ryan Andrews, a young right back who's come through the academy, is making his first team debut. Chris Wilder, seems to have been very happy with what he saw from him in training during the week, and yeah, very surprising inclusion there from Chris Wilder. Ryan Andrews, congratulations to him making his Watford debut. Quickly talk about the bench as well before we get into the game. Ismail Kone is on there. Ken Sema, Craig Cathcart's been dropped. Yassir Asprilla did come off in the Huddersfield match with an injury. He's on the bench as well. Henrique Arouge is on the bench, which is surprising. We've not seen him for a few weeks. And Christian Kabasele is on the bench as well. The players just about to walk out here at Coventry as well. And I think it's about time we bring in our guest for the stream. I'm delighted to welcome him back on to the Watford Way. Callum, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you looking forward to the game?
As well as I can do, I guess. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of circumstances happening in Watford right now, but I wouldn't be too happy for the game to start. But of course, it's another Watford match day, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. The players just walking out here now at Coventry. And yeah, I think we sold out the away end as well. In terms of the team, Callum, that Chris Wilder has put out, Ben Hamer making his Watford debut. Firstly, your thoughts on that? And obviously, I've not spoke to you on here for a very, very long time. So I just quickly want to get your thoughts. Sum up in 30 seconds Watford's season so far, because it's not been that fantastic, has it?
Yeah, it's not been amazing. I think I definitely agree with you on that. I think in terms of Hamer starting, I don't think we really had much choice. We had Okoye, but then it was obviously between Okoye and Hamer. I think probably Wilder went for the right decision to go with Hamer there. Congratulations to Andrews, like he said there, getting his first senior start. Did incredible stuff for us in the under-21s team. I feel like he can definitely bring a lot of passion, the passion that we need in that defence to really create a solid back line today. But in terms of really summing up our season, horrific. A car crash of a season.
Yes.
Players not fighting for the badge.
Yes.
The fans doing our bit, but the players not doing theirs. The management, 3 words for the management: get out now.
Are you talking about Gino Pozzo there? Sorry.
Yeah. I don't mean Wilder. I didn't see any. It's been Wilder's fault. No, it's not Wilder's fault. It's the management in the higher authorities in the club. Pozzo, Duxbury, Gioretta. They need to go. They need to go.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I am watching via Sky Sports. Of course, it's live on Sky Sports today, but I am watching via an app. So if I'm about 20, 30 seconds behind, I do apologise, but I'll try and keep you guys as up to date as possible. Callum, I presume you're watching via Sky as well.
Indeed.
Has the match kicked off on your end, or what's going on? I want to try and sync ourselves up so we're as synced up as possible.
Let me just quickly check because sometimes, obviously there's stream lag, so I think we're destined.
I've got Britta Sombalonga on my screen at the moment, if that helps.
I'll quickly check for you. I think we're destined to have a bit of lag anyway because of just stream lag. Let me just quickly check.
They're showing the Coventry manager.
My Sky decided to have an update, which is brilliant.
That's all right. Well, I'll keep you up to date as much as possible, and I'm sure Callum will be watching on his end as well. And here we go. We're about to kick off here at the Coventry City Stadium. I believe, Cal, they actually share their stadium with a rugby team as well, don't they? The Wasps, is that right?
I believe so. Yeah, they do. Yeah, because I know they had a lot of controversy with obviously sharing the stadium between them. I think. Well, I don't know if forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think the Coventry fans really dislike the Wasps for some reason because apparently, because it's something to do with discrepancies on sharing their stadium. I think they got points deducted from it as well. So I'm not sure what the situation is regarding that.
And I think earlier this season, I think they were right down kind of near the relegation zone. I do find it quite funny how the Championship changes so much because you kind of have QPR up there challenging for the player places. They're obviously now, in the relegation zone pretty much. And then you had Coventry struggling earlier this season. And now they're up there challenging for the player positions as well. So it's interesting how quickly things change. And we have kicked off here now at Coventry as well. And hopefully, we can get our season back on track somewhat. I know people have wrote off the season, Cal. But, Watford are still mathematically, I know really we're not in the race, but mathematically it is still possible we do achieve them player positions.
I'd say that's optimism for sure, but I mean, I like your way of thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still possible. I mean, anything can happen in football. It's so unpredictable. But if you think about the teams that are above us, we've got 11 teams above us, one of them already promoted. So, like I said, it's very wishful thinking. Playoffs, I mean, who we got above us? We've got the likes of Blackburn, Millwall, Luton, very, very sadly, who are third.
Yeah. I mean, Coventry themselves are above us as well, who are playing today.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's just that if that's not a microcosm of our season, I don't know what is. I mean, we've got Sunderland above us for crying out loud. So, yeah, it's been very, very, very tough, and that's all down to the management we have. That's all down to the players that don't want to play for the shirt. It's not been fun at all.
Just to shout out a few of you guys in chat watching with us today. Legend of Games is in chat. He says hello. Harry's in chat as well. Adam is in chat. Also, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys had a wonderful Easter. Just behind me down there on my bedroom floor, I do have a few Easter eggs, which I have to say I have already started.
I currently have an Easter egg to the side of my
my
desk as well.
Let's do an Easter egg reveal.
God, it's kind of being half eaten at the moment, but it's there.
Wow. What type of chocolate is it?
It's dark chocolate, I believe. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that in the chat.
Wow.
It's dark chocolate.
You know what? I do rate dark chocolate. I can't eat lots of it, but in small portions, I think it's quite nice.
It's very strong. Okay, it leaves a bit of a tang in your mouth.
Yeah. Do you like white chocolate?
I don't mind it. I'm not opposed to it. I much prefer dark chocolate.
Okay. Watford had a brief attack early on. Ismail Assar was trying to run through onto a loose ball, but the Coventry goalkeeper quite easily claimed that. 2 minutes, 14 seconds into the game on my end, if you guys want to try and sync up with the stream. I do think it's actually a positive, Cal, that Chris Wilder made so many changes to the team. I think it got to the point where everyone was so frustrated with these errors week in, week out. I think mass changes to the team were necessary, weren't they, really?
Definitely. I feel like, everything was becoming quite stagnant. I think we were starting with the same 11 consistently. And while we do have a few standout players, for example, João Pedro, Asprilla, who just came back and now he's injured. So that's typical. He's not back to 100%, so we can't start today. But like I said, everything was becoming really, the football wasn't becoming free-flowing. Everything was becoming really stagnant, and it needed a change, quite simply. And that's why I'm very happy, and it's quite refreshing to see Wilder's willing to give the young ones a go. We've got obviously we've got Adeyemo, we've got Andrews. I'm very surprised Adeyemo hasn't started today as well. Maybe
I was going to say that. I mean, you've got Adrian Blake, who has not yet signed a professional contract. Obviously, Toby Adeyemo has recently signed his contract.
Exactly, yeah. I would have started Adeyemo over Asamoah probably today, just so it shows, because he had an electric debut. So, if he signs a professional contract, I mean, hopefully that shows in future games that he is available to play. But for now, I definitely would have given him a go, especially if we've got nothing to lose. And we need to show that we have, because obviously with youth, they're going to show that passion. They're going to show they want to play for the club and become a consistent starter, much like probably what Andrews wants to try and achieve today. So,
Well, yeah,
hopefully.
really surprised at Andrew's inclusion. I mean, he's had a few touches on the ball early on here, and he does seem, relatively comfortable, albeit we are only about 4 minutes into this game. And yeah, also, by the way, I am watching Wrexham versus Notts County. I've got about 4 screens in front of me. I've got StreamYard, I've got the Watford game, I've got the Wrexham game.
Turning into the VAR room.
Notts County. What are your thoughts on Wrexham, Cal? Obviously, they're having a fantastic season in the National League. Complete polar opposites to Watford in terms of their form and how they've been doing. It's a great story there with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, isn't it? And them and Notts County have been fighting out really at the top of the National League.
I mean, I genuinely, it's unheard of that you find 2 teams, obviously, with 100 points trying to battle it out. It's going to be a crazy, crazy ride. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to pan out. I'm definitely backing Wrexham because obviously you've got Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds, obviously 2 owners, which you never thought would be football owners, but they are. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting ride backing Wrexham. I wouldn't be surprised if Wrexham actually pip us if they would ever play us. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Not much has happened in the Watford game so far. 5 minutes gone so far. Coventry City on the attack down this left-hand side at the moment. You have to excuse me in regards to my knowledge of Coventry. I don't know many of their players. Watford have a 2-on-1 opportunity here, though. And it's 1-0 to Watford. Get in. Get in there. Come on, Joao. Come on.
That's exactly what we needed. Exactly what we needed.
So Watford on the counter-attack there. Fantastic ball into Joao Pedro. I have to watch this on the replay. But Joao Pedro goes on like a mazy run. Let's just see who put the ball into him first. So Porteous wins it. And yeah, it's a Porteous assist actually for Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro essentially running the length of the pitch. And wow, Joao Pedro puts Watford 1-0 up away at Coventry City. And yeah, a great goal by Watford on the counter-attack there. Cal, what a start for Watford.
AC Milan, keep your hands off this guy. Keep your hands off him. He is Watford through and through. No, honestly,
there's been a lot of links with Joao. Obviously, you mentioned AC Milan there. I mean, Everton have been linked with him quite a lot as well. Newcastle as well. What do you think the right move is for Joao Pedro going forward? Because that is his 10th championship goal of the season. Finally, we have a player who's into double figures for goals. Very, very good goal there by Joao Pedro. But what is the next logical move for him, in your opinion, do you think?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about the move that I'd most want to happen, it's signing a new 10-year contract with Watford. But but in terms of I see him definitely moving on at the end of the season. Very sadly, because teams will definitely be willing to pay the big bucks for him. He's proven that he can do it in the Premier League as well, so that's definitely going to help his cause. In terms of where I think he'll flourish a lot better, in opposed to maybe other foreign leagues. I think he should definitely stay in England. That's my personal opinion, because he showed that he can really develop his quality there, especially with a team that can play quite attacking wise. He'd fit a team, for example, like Newcastle, a team that he nearly joined until he completely cancelled out the rumours. So yeah, I think Newcastle would definitely benefit, and he would definitely benefit from joining Newcastle. It'd be definitely a good move for both parties.
I think on Newcastle, quickly, just to interrupt you, I think the strange thing with me with Newcastle is they spent so much money on the move to bring in Anthony Gordon from Everton. I mean, what was that, about a 40-50 million pound deal?
Yeah, he doesn't even start.
Yeah, and they could have brought Joao Pedro in for probably. I mean, I'm sure Watford would have taken him out, 25-30 million pounds for him. Gordon's not been doing that great. I just think Joao Pedro is such a talent. Whether we're overhyping him as Watford fans, I don't know, but he's certainly, for me, definitely capable of playing for a top 7, top 8 Premier League side at least. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the Premier League, because obviously he has played previously in the Premier League with us, albeit we did get relegated that season. So here come Watford again, by the way. Joao Pedro just again down his left hand side.
He's been electric so far.
Yeah, it's been absolutely superb. He keeps the ball in play. Britt Sumbalong has actually gone down injured here. Hopefully he's all right. Britt Sumbalonga, Callum, actually did score a consolation goal for Watford in that terrible defeat to Huddersfield. Good finish, actually, wasn't it, to be fair?
It was a good finish, yeah. I feel like he can definitely provide, a goal or two on his day. But I just feel like, with the contract that we signed him on the link for the contract, and how old is he now? He's 30. I mean, he's not spring chicken anymore, so he's definitely someone that we look just to almost put it as a filler for the bench, just in case we do need someone who comes off injured. For example, I reckon any gems like we have, like Hal Pedro for the remainder of the season. We've obviously got if Adiemo does get his starts eventually. If he does, if he's suffering injury, we have someone longer to really just fill up the numbers and bring on in terms of fresh legs. So he has that goal in him. Of course, he has bucket loads of experience to bring to the team. But I feel like, he's not going to be anything to be built around long term. But yeah, good finish.
Just watching the João Pedro goal again here. And, it's superb from João Pedro. Essentially runs about 50, 60 yards, himself. Captaining the team as well today. What a superstar. What an absolute superstar. Only 21 years of age as well. Does look like Britt Sombolonga might be going off here. He looks to have pulled his hamstring while making a run. Very positive start for Watford in this game. Just keep an eye on the Wrexham game as well if you guys are interested. It's currently 0-0 at the Racecourse ground. Ryan Reynolds is in attendance, by the way. Deadpool himself is at the Wrexham game. The reason I had the Wrexham game on was just because I thought Watford would be so bad today. It would be a little bit of a distraction, but we've actually taken the lead against Coventry.
Yeah. We're turning it on. I'm not gonna place my bets too early, but
I don't think I would ever bet on Watford. We're probably the worst team in the football league to place a bet for, really.
I mean, I thought that Victor Gyökeres, who's starting for Coventry, been absolutely superb.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like he would have had a lot more of an impact of what he had in his first opening 10 minutes, but we kept him silent. Hopefully, we can keep him just as silent throughout the whole remainder of the game.
Well, he was really good in the match at Vicarage Road, actually. I was really impressed with what I saw from him there. It's kind of a mix between. I'm trying to think of a comparison here, really, but it's kind of a mix between like Ivan Toney. It's kind of a mix between Ivan Toney and João Pedro, I suppose. He's got really good dribbling ability. He can play that target man role where he holds up the ball as well. Britt Sombolonga has come off here, by the way. I'm just waiting to see who's come on for him. And it looks like Henrik Arouge is coming on for Britt Sombolonga. So Arouge is going to get a good 80 minutes in this game, surprisingly. Where has he been the past few weeks?
I thought it was Araujo. Is it Arouge? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, so I used to say Araujo. And then I watched an interview. It might have been Watford or it might have been someone else. I'm not too sure. But the way he pronounced it was Henrik Arouge.
So you're saying that Ronald Arouge from Barcelona is called Ronald Arouge? I thought it was Araujo, always.
Well, I was speaking to someone else and they said it was Araujo. So
yeah, I would have thought it'd been Araujo or Araujo. I didn't think it'd be Arouge. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll quickly search
Arouge,
up how you say
maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know on that one. We'll have to get like a Portuguese language expert onto the Watford Way to explain that for us, maybe.
I'm just going to quickly search up how you pronounce Arouge or Araujo. Hold on a second.
Coventry City goal kick here. 12 minutes, 11 seconds gone in this game so far. And positive stuff for Watford. I'm surprised how little Coventry fans have filled up the ground, actually. It doesn't look like they've sold out the ground. It looks like there's a few empty seats there today.
It is Araujo.
Araujo.
Yeah.
Araujo. Okay.
Of course, I'm following that off a YouTube tutorial, so if there's any Portuguese fluent speakers in here, just don't kill me, please.
Sometimes we do get some Portuguese viewers in here, actually, so if you are from Portugal or you speak the Portuguese language, make yourself known to myself and Cal. We will learn some Portuguese here on the Watford Way today.
I didn't know it'd be a football channel and a linguistic channel.
I recently went to Spain, actually, and to be fair, a lot of them speak very, very good English, actually. So, oh no! Oh, good save, Daniel Batman there.
You mean Ben Hamer? You mean?
Oh, Ben Hamer! Oh my god, how embarrassing!
It's all good. To be fair, he started in goal so many times for us this season. I think he's almost like a hologram. You always see him in goal.
That's what it is. I just instinctively thought Daniel Batman has been here for so many years now, hasn't he? Fair play, Ben Hamer. You have to remember, I'm watching on a small screen as well. That's my excuse. But they look the same.
All Watford players are the same.
Yeah, good save there from Ben Hamer, as Cal rightly points out. Ben Foster playing for Wrexham, by the way. So a little bit of a Watford connection there as well. Cal, what are your thoughts on that move? Obviously, he left Watford, officially retired somewhat. He had a few offers from other Premier League clubs. He's joined Wrexham for this last run towards the end of the season. I've seen a lot of people say it's more to benefit his YouTube career more than anything else. What are your thoughts on that?
I just find it funny how I think, I could be wrong here, but I think Ben also had interest, or he had interest from Tottenham Hotspur, and he'd rejected them.
Yeah,
So,
Newcastle as well. I think at the start of the season, we're interested in him in terms of like a backup goalkeeper capacity.
Yeah, I mean, Tottenham's a mess at the moment. And obviously, they've got Lloris, and he's back now, but he's just been dreadful. But this isn't a Tottenham channel. We're going to move on and focus on Ben Foster. I think, well, he's back at his boyhood club, essentially, at New Wrexham. So
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think he had a loan spell there from what I read earlier in his career. I think that's one of the first clubs he actually played professional football at. João Pedro with a really good opportunity from a header there, by the way, saved by the Coventry City goalkeeper. But yes, it's nice to see Ben Foster back out playing football. There's a little bit of controversy in their last match. Apparently, he should have done a little bit better with the goals Wrexham conceded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose for him, if he's going to have one last hurrah at playing football, to do it in the Wrexham team, who are probably going to get promoted to the Football League this season for the first time in many years, then I suppose it's good for his career as well, isn't it?
Definitely, I think it's obviously, I think with the allowance of the GoPro in the goal, I think that's definitely going to benefit his YouTube career. Obviously, he was banned in the English leagues from having it in there, because obviously I think it was a breach of showing the games obviously on YouTube. But I mean, I can tell you now that vlog, if Wrexham win, that's gonna be some game to watch inside the GoPro. If this is a Wrexham stadium, it's gonna be absolutely rocking. So. Yeah, that's going to be great. I'll definitely be watching that if that does get uploaded.
Yeah, I like their stadium as well. It's a really old school stadium. I mean, they've literally got one stand which has been demolished at the moment. I believe they are going to be building a new stand. And if you haven't actually watched it, the Welcome to Wrexham documentary on Disney Plus is a really, really interesting watch actually really as well. Good. Kind of shows obviously how Ryan Reynolds bought the club. Watford on the counter-attack here through Arajo, however you want to say it.
Arajo.
Who loses the ball. What are your thoughts on the anti-owner protest, the anti-Gino Pozzo protest? There was a bit of controversy around Scott Duxbury as well, and the comments he made to a fan as well.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I was obviously at the game. I don't know how many games you've been to this season, Cal, or how it's been perceived on television watching from home. But the atmosphere in Vicarage Road was very, very toxic. It's the worst I've seen it since I've been going to Watford. Numerous people bringing out banners, obviously against the owner. I sit very close to the director's box as well, and there was increased security around there. It was very hard to, get close to Scott Duxbury. It does feel like finally the fans have kind of gone, we've had enough of this situation and turned on the owners, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm just glad that the fans have reached breaking point now, as I feel like it was only a matter of time. It was a ticking time bomb essentially, because we all know that we all had that collective thought of Pozzo, and really everything was really toxic towards him. Our connotations as to what he does with our football club. Obviously, we kind of used as like an insurance policy for Udinese in a way. He kind of cares more about that than he does Watford. So, I think we've definitely all had enough. I think I'd speak on behalf of the chat as well. Make sure if you can comment as well, just having your thoughts as well, that'd be brilliant. I feel like it'll only be a matter of time, I think, before we really do revolt, and there'll be a process outside of the games as well, because I'm not seeing any outside of the match process. But if this carries on for much longer and there's no change that we've seen since our first initial protest, it will continue getting worse. It's exactly like the Man United and Glazers situation. The Glazers have admitted defeat in a way, and they are selling the club. So hopefully this can create a bit of a domino effect in terms of Watford. If we keep on shouting louder in our games, bring in more banners, bring in more flags, just really get our thoughts known, then if anything, the Watfords. I saw a video I think a few days ago a Watford fan expressing his thoughts. He bought a huge banner saying Pozzo out, but the security actually ushered him out. So I feel like I think the club are definitely aware of what we think. I just think it needs to be broadcasted out louder from a wider scale. Of course, I definitely 100% back bringing in banners and doing non-violent protests. I think that's definitely something that will really get our point across. But yeah, if we could do it a bit more wide scale, of course, not including anything violent at all, like anything physical, anything like that. Just showing the pure passion that we have in our voices. That's going to become the most useful tool in these protests.
Absolutely agree there. Well spoken, Carol. If you are just joining the stream, we're about 20 minutes into this game. Watford away at Coventry City today, and Watford are leading by 1-0, courtesy of a fantastic João Pedro run and a João Pedro finish into the bottom right-hand corner. And yeah, great to see from João Pedro. But again, it just shows that we do rely on, individual moments of brilliance. We saw in that Huddersfield game, Huddersfield Callum, played as a team. I think they only had about 25% possession in the entire game. But they created fantastic opportunities just through playing as a team and just playing good football, really. Whereas Watford looked lost when they were on the ball. I know we spoke briefly about it earlier, but we've got through so many managers this season. You mentioned earlier, you can't really pin the blame on the managers anymore. We've had these set of players for a very long time at Watford, and whether it's been Rob Edwards, Slavan Bilic, or Chris Wilder, they're all struggling to get a tune out of this Watford squad, really.
Definitely, I think it became apparent. I think almost from what I saw when we initially got relegated from the Premier League, is that we play mainly as a team of individuals. We don't play as a team. I think that was back when we had Dennis. That was back when we had João Pedro. More Dennis, especially. He played for himself more than he did for the team. I think that's what I think that game against Huddersfield really shown that in full force. We didn't play as a unit. We didn't stay compact. We kind of, like you said there, we kind of just had lost all motive. We kind of lost all sense, and we didn't really know what to do on the ball. And that was the detriment, obviously, of the result that we had. And that's one thing that I really worry about with this Watford team. If we can't really play as a team, then we have no chance of obviously getting through to the playoffs. I mean, João Pedro, if we're relying on him each time to bail us out each game, that's going to take a toll on him, and that's almost probably going to force him out to move as well, because if he's the only one pulling his weight.
I think they were so focused on getting to playoffs and achieving them top 6 positions, which, as I mentioned earlier, I am the optimist, Cal. So I do apologise for my optimism. I know you're not quite as optimistic as me. But winning today is how many games have we got left? 6 or 7 games left to go. Yes, the teams above us do have to drop points, and yes, Watford would probably have to go on a very ridiculous run of wins to make it into them positions. But even if we did achieve playoffs, we'd have to play the likes of Middlesbrough, Luton, Millwall, Coventry potentially as well, across 2 legs before we then even get to the final. So, it's all well and good achieving the player positions. The team then has to kind of regroup and go again. And I think that'll be tough in itself. And I don't know whether this Watford squad really has the mentality currently to go and do that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I think that's become a lot more apparent over these coming games, that we don't have that mentality. I mean, if we can really, if we can go on this much of a losing streak, when obviously getting relegated, straight from the Premier League, it's not going to be ideal for the rest of the season. I think we can really become a mid-table EFL side if we have this mentality and we keep that, because I think the reason why we are probably winning, it could just be through João Pedro's quality, but as well. But Chris Wilder obviously came out after the Huddersfield game. He was absolutely steaming. So I'm hoping that the Watford players definitely did get grilling in after the game and throughout training as well. I hope they've been working extremely hard, and we can see a bit of a turnaround now. It's a bit too little, too late, but I'm hoping we can see a turnaround in results now. And yeah, it's just all about what time can tell, really, and how the team's set up. I mean, Britta Summerlong is practically now gone. I don't know how bad the injury was. But,
well, yeah, I mean, he did pull up quite badly, actually. I mean, he went straight down to the ground. I mean, he did manage to walk off the pitch on his own 2 feet, which is obviously always a positive with hamstring injuries. But, it's good that, we're utilising the Rouge. At least he was on the bench today to come on, and obviously Ryan Andrews making his first start as well. We've seen lots of different tactics this season from Watford managers. Carol, obviously Chris Wilder likes to implement his five at the backs. He likes to play with at times inverted centre backs, if you will. He likes the wing backs to bomb forward. Is that kind of your preferred system, or I did kind of like what Slaven Bilic was trying to do with the 4-3-3. That in terms of my footballing ideology, that is my preferred way of playing. But I suppose to shore up the defence and make us a little bit solid in that aspect, I suppose the five at the back, can do that.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I was to really pick a formation, I think really get the best out of our players. Like you said, there's something forward and backwise. It's kind of like your classic formation. I know we're playing a 4-1-4-1 today, but it kind of just shows that we're all forward at the back. It can create a bit more of a solid base, as opposed to having two wing backs that keep on bombing up forward. And sure, that's pretty much to the benefit of our attack. But if we want to make sure that we're keeping quite solid at the back, forward at the back's probably the best bet. And like you said, there 4-3-3. It was implemented by the Dutch to be quite a solid formation. And the fact that it's really been implemented or can be implemented by us to create quite a solid structure, I think would be good. And depending on how well this game goes, if we can play like we are with how Pedro to the left, Sarr to the right, I have a lot to say on Sarr later on. And to anything at the striker position, if we have Adeyemo or Sombalonga does, if it's a knock, if he comes back in next game, if we play this well under this new system, then all the more power to Wilder, and I hope he just can play in this way. But the thing is, I don't want us to become too predictable. I think if we can find maybe 2 or 3 formations, like you said there, maybe 5 at the back, 4-3-3, and this 4-4-1, if it does work, if we can keep on implementing that and changing it depending on the sides we play against, that will get us on the street.
Joao Pedro creating a really good opportunity for Arouge there. He just didn't quite have the pace to get on the end of it. But in terms of Watford in this game, I'd very much say we've been the more attacking team. We've definitely had much more of the ball than Coventry have as well. And yeah, maybe, as I mentioned earlier to Cal, maybe these mass changes to the team were necessary. Cathcart's been dropped. Esprit has been dropped, albeit we believe that may be due to the injury he picked up against Huddersfield. Obviously, Daniel Batman, very, very silly sending off in that game as well. I don't know if you caught the last 5 minutes of that Huddersfield game, Cal, but it was watching it in the ground, I just found it hilarious. I shouldn't find it that funny because obviously Watford were in a complete mess and we completely lost our heads. But, Daniel Batman picked up a yellow card for arguing with the official. He then did a kung fu karate kick to get himself sent off. Then Hamza Chowdhury went in goal for the final few seconds of the game as well. What a chaotic way to end the football match that was.
Yeah, it was crazy. I saw it all over social media. People had our fair share laughing at us, obviously, because we just lost our heads completely.
Yeah.
I didn't know Daniel Blackburn actually had an inner Eric Cantona in him. But it was if he could refrain from doing that to players and instead doing it on the ball, that'd be brilliant. But it was a crazy 5 minutes, and that's almost a bit of a microcosm for our whole season. Really, it just proves we're an absolute mess. And it's gonna be a slippery slope to the end of the season now. I can see. I know you're optimistic, but I've spoken to many Watford fan accounts on Instagram, and they almost kind of said the same views as me. We're in a bad place.
Yeah, certainly agree with that. We are in a bad place, but the season is salvageable, mathematically at least.
You sound like a Greek god.
Yeah,
but this may happen.
I'm always going to hold the hope. I think I will do. Even if Watford were in like the National League and challenging for promotion there, I'd always still hold hope that Watford will salvage something, even though these players might not be able to.
Yeah, I'll always have love for it. I'll never lose love for this club at all. But I will lose love with players that don't try, players that show no passion, and the management. Those I can easily fall out with them. I'll never fall out with the preface of the club, what we stand for. But the fact that his morals have completely taken a tumble on really what we stand for now, because we have Pozzo in charge and he's really making this club toxic. And obviously, and that has a knock-on effect. I think Pozzo employ toxicity. You're going to get toxicity throughout the whole club, and I think that's really a good demonstration of what Watford are at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because I saw I saw something on Twitter last night and early this morning about an investigation's been reopened into basically some tax evasion tactics he used while he was in charge of Granada. That seems to have kind of come back up again as well. Obviously, we've got the Hassan Kamara investigation in regards to his inflated transfer fee and whether Watford may face a punishment for that as well. So there's a lot going on at the moment in regards to controversies regarding our owner. And I think the most frustrating thing for me is we see Scott Duxbury at pretty much every home game. I could visibly see him myself with my own eyes against Huddersfield, as I mentioned, with a lot of security around him. But I've never seen Gino Pozzo at a game myself. I know he does attend occasionally, and I know he works in the UK quite regularly. He obviously attends the London Colney training ground when the players are there. But you would think that the owner of the football club, who's based in the UK, would actually go to the matches. I don't know. I don't really know the thinking behind that, whether it's maybe a safety issue. I know when the fans turned on the Everton board, that turned quite nasty and they were advised not to attend the games. But from my perspective, just to at least see him at the games, I think that would be a positive move, I should say. And for him not to at least attend the Watford games, I do find really frustrating, actually.
I mean, definitely. I think if any owner can really show that he cares about the club that he owns and actually visits the town consistently. I know he's from Italy. English is not his first language, but he can definitely attend games, obviously, for the club that he owns, and obviously, that if he doesn't attend games and he doesn't want to show that he has the passion, the intent, and the motivation to make things right, obviously for a club that he owns, people will eventually revolt against that, and his sales will drop, and his revenue will drop for the club that for obviously people renewing season tickets, buying tickets. It's going to be to the detriment of not only us, because obviously we don't get to see our team as often, but that's for our own choice. But obviously that's going to be a huge knock-on effect to him as well. I mean, I don't commend him at all, because obviously he's definitely part of the problem. But at least Scott Duxbury went to the game against Huddersfield, and that created while it did create a bit of toxicity there as well, because whilst he was there, he's one of the people that we want to try and remove from the club. So of course, there's always going to be negativity thrown towards him. But at least it will show that if Pozzo does go to these games, or at least some of his family members do, it shows that they are listening. But I don't know, it just shows that it's a complete repel against him and the club, and it's not good. It really isn't good.
It's not good at all. But I'll tell you what is good: the Watford match today. Watford still leading Coventry by 1-0. Not much has really happened since the João Pedro goal. Watford had a few opportunities running in behind. Sarr had an opportunity which he blasted over the bar. Coventry haven't really threatened, apart from that one shot that Ben Hamer saved. He's looked pretty solid so far, actually, as well. Watford very comfortable largely at the moment. Ryan Andrews, the academy player, making his debut today at right back, looks very comfortable. Obviously Wesley Hoop, Ryan Porteous, that partnership has always been very strong since they both come into the club. So it's looking positive so far. About 16, 17 minutes to go until half time. And if we just take a quick look at the championship table, I'd be interested to see if Watford do win today, where this will move us up to. So here we go. I've got the live table up in front of me now. So Watford will be on 58 points in 11th position. With the other results going on at the moment.
I'm also happy to report as well that Luton are losing 1-0 at the moment.
Yes, Luton Town Blackpool, 3rd position. That's crazy. Norwich drawing 0-0. West Brom winning by 2-1. Swansea leading as well. QPR losing. Blackpool winning, and Wigan.
QPR. If I can just quickly take a quick moment to speak about QPR. The fact right at the start, or near the start of the season, they were in the top 3. Now they're in the relegation zone now because they're losing 2-1.
Oh my God, I mentioned this at the start of the stream just before you joined, actually. It's like, Coventry and QPR are complete polar opposites, really, because Coventry, we mentioned the ground issues they had. They had to have a load of games postponed because obviously their ground shared the rugby team. And when QPR come to Vicarage Road, I think we're all praising them at how well they played. I think they beat us by 2-1, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Chris Woollock scored in that game as well. But I'm concerned for QPR. I mean, obviously, the one win they've had relatively recently was against us, which is quite embarrassing, really. And that's the one away game I decided to go to, which ended in tears, which is really unfortunate. But it's crazy. It's crazy how quickly their season's deteriorated. Really, it just shows how quickly the Championship can change, really, and how worried Watford should be. If Watford had gone on an even worse run than we've been on currently, we very quickly could have been dragged down further in the table.
Definitely, I think I mean, I watched the QPR game. I wasn't there, but I did watch the QPR game because I have a few mates that are QPR fans that were in the way end. They were taunting me to heaven, but yeah, that wasn't the funnest thing to see, but. Yeah, I mean, it just shows, we're becoming an easy target. I think for many EFL clubs. I mean, people are laughing at us, especially higher up in the table now. If you're looking at people maybe from 5th to 1st, they'll be thinking this is an easy few points that we're going to have against Watford. So,
we saw Wigan, who are currently bottom of the table, get a really good result against us as well.
Exactly, it just shows that we bottle it at the best of times, and I know Google have a feature now. I'm just looking at on the table on Google where it tells you the last 5 matches and the form that we're on. I mean, if you have a look at, in opposed to, I never want to do this because it's just common sense. But for Luton, they have won 3 of their last 5 and drawn 2. They're on an unbeaten streak in their last 5 games, and then as opposed to us. We have lost 3, drawn 1, won 1. So yeah, it just shows, we're like, as a standard for a club that just got relegated last year, what's happened to us is an absolute travesty. But to be honest, I feel like many fans could really see this coming from a mile off. I instantly thought, for the way that we performed toward the latter end of last season, it was going to be a real tough time because we completely down tools. And I knew if we we're going to do that in the EFL Championship, we'd stay there for quite a while, and I think that's really shown now that obviously we have a rotten management. Something really in the core of the club is not right, and we definitely need to fix it. I don't know whether it could be for a multitude of things. That's getting rid of management, getting rid of players that don't want to play here, cashing in on players while we have the chance. For example, is Ismaila Sarr, hopefully get his career revival again, because I want to speak about him actually in a few minutes' time, maybe probably at half time.
Yeah, half time we'll discuss Ismaila Sarr.
Yeah, so I mean, getting rid of Sarr, cashing on him while he can, because it's evident he doesn't want to be here. How Pedro, as much as I don't want to see him go, I have a feeling that he is definitely going to go. So if we can cash on him. In terms of anyone else, I mean, we've already cashed in on Dennis, and what have we done with the money? Nothing.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Imran Louza? Because he's clearly, a very, very talented player. He's clearly a very valuable asset to Watford. He plays international football with Morocco as well. I think for me, out of all the players to keep next season, he's probably, one of the top players on my list. You got Ismaila Sarr, João Pedro, who, as you mentioned, are very likely to leave. But is Imran Louza, I think there's a possibility we can very much keep him for next season.
I can only hope. I mean, he's definitely one of our brightest sparks in midfield, 100%. I mean, the fact that we brought in Bacuna. How old is Bacuna now? Let's have a quick look.
He must be late 20s, early 30s, Bacuna.
Yeah, he's older than Brett Stumbalonga. He's 31.
Wow.
So
wow,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, he's holding it down in CDM, but I think we need a lot more of a reflux of youth because our squad's getting old now. If we're taking out obviously the likes of Hal Pedro, there's Ismaila Sarr in the case as well, but. Yeah, he's actually non-existent really, even though he is quite young still. I mean, he does want to play for us, so it's evident. I think we just take him out of the picture quickly. But I'll just quickly run through our team, and then I'll just tell you how old each player is. We've got Ben Hamer. I mean, granted, he doesn't start. He's just there as a filler for Dan Backman. But again, he's 35. Yeah. I mean, I know goalkeepers are notoriously not meant to be young because they're just there to really just guard the sticks.
Well, I think with goalkeepers, just on the subject of them quickly, while we're talking about them, we've got Maduka Okoye, who we brought in for. I think it was about £6 million, wasn't it? We brought in Okoye from Sparta Rotterdam. Obviously, Brendan, who's been on the channel previously, our friend over in the Netherlands, he spoke about him as well. And they rated him really, really highly. And that £6 million we spent on a goalkeeper who hasn't featured. I mean, he's featured twice this season in the cup competitions. He's not even on the bench today. I think that situation is very peculiar as well.
Definitely. I mean, I think it was up to me, and I mean, he has a benefit as well for Okoye. He's very young. He's like, what, 21, 22?
Yeah.
Around that. And the fact he's not getting a look in is shocking to me. I mean, we couldn't be in a worse position right now, so why not just whack him on where we have the chance? I mean, granted, it's only been cup games that he started in. I don't know if he started in a championship game yet, but I might as well give him the benefit of the doubt and start him in the game, see how he gets along. Obviously, we have a new centre back partnership now in I don't know how you say his name. It's
Wesley Hoot.
Hoot.
Yes.
Hoot. Okay. Yes, I'm not very good at names, if you can tell. Yeah, Hoot and Ryan Porteous. Obviously, we have them two there, as opposed to what we had a few games ago. Obviously, in Cathcart and Cabaselli. That's mainly the two that we started with. From the large majority of the Premier League and just at the start of the Championship as well. So I'm glad that we had that transfer window to really bring in those two centre backs to really solidify our defence. Does a lot more. I mean, it kind of proves that way, even though we're 11th. I mean, Portis has been definitely a bright spark for us, and Hoots, she's just been defensively solid. I think we already knew that when he was coming anyway. But I definitely give the benefit of the doubt to Okoye. How he hasn't got a start today, and why he's not even on the bench is definitely strange. I agree with that.
I mean, there's no real benefit. I know, Ben Hamer clearly has a lot of experience. I think, how old is he? 35 years old, did you just say?
Yeah, Ben Hamer's 35, yeah.
Yeah, 35 years old. So it's clearly experienced. But I think, you've got to give opportunities to, £6 million goalkeeper in the Championship is a lot of money. And I don't believe he's injured. I believe he actually visited his former club at the weekend to kind of say goodbye after his move to Watford. And I think next season he'll probably still be at the club, but I'd imagine, we'll send him out on loan. Or Daniel Batman, he may potentially leave in the summer as well, depending on what happens. So there's opportunities there for him. It's just, I do just find it peculiar that, a player with such a large price tag for a goalkeeper is not even featuring on the bench, really. Is very odd.
And granted as well, we've got Henrique Araujo on the bench, and we only have him on a loan. So whether we have the obligation to buy, I'm not too sure. But I don't even know if he'll want to really move here. To be honest with you, I mean,
he's got this big release clause, £100 million release clause. I don't think we can necessarily afford. Don't think we can afford that. But maybe another loan next season if Watford are interested. But I don't think we've seen enough from Araujo really.
Exactly, yeah. He's been a bit of an underwhelming signing, and it's a real shame as well because he came in as a hot prospect, obviously from Benfica, and we expected a lot from him, but he's not really.
He's just not been given a chance, though. Really,
exactly. Bilic
didn't really give him a chance. Chris Wilder, thankfully, has brought him onto the pitch today.
But yes, the fact that Britta Sonvalonga is actually starting over him as well just kind of sums up into that's all you really need to see, to be honest. And the fact he's not really been given a chance is a crying shame because he's meant to be such a young talent. Another player who I think really should have been given the nod. I mean, we've got quite a solid midfield, but what I would have done is taking out Bakuna, probably putting Chowdhury in that CDM spot, kind of acting as someone who covers the centre, and then bringing in Ismail Kone. He's impressed me. He has. I think
you like him, do you?
I do like him. Yeah, he's definitely he's a very young, bright talent that I think we found from MLS. What he came in from, I think it was Cincinnati. I think he came in from
Montreal.
Montreal. That's it, in Montreal. Yeah. So yeah, he's improved. He's shown that he obviously has talent and quality in the cup games that we played him in. And Ben Mang has definitely found a steal there. Hopefully he can really develop his career here. If we send him out on loan, I'll be very, very annoyed because I think he can really develop our midfield, especially if we do stay, which are definitely. I mean, I say if we do, I think we will stay in the Championship next season. So it's all about development phase. It's shown this year that we have problems we need to highlight, and there's a lot of problems we need to highlight, but there are problems nonetheless, and. It's all about rebuilding and really making our club what it is that we want to again. And this is why I really idolise the layout and the structure they have in clubs in Germany. It's called the 101% rule, I think it is, or 110%.
Okay, is this where fans own a certain percentage of the club? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So when fans have a say, don't know how that will go down in England. Obviously, if all English clubs implemented that, that's going to be absolute carnage. But it's something that we could definitely benefit with right now, because we as fans, we're doing our bit. It's not like we're not attending games, but the thing is, though, if this continues on, we won't start attending games.
Well, I mean, the attendance against Huddersfield, I mean, I'd say maybe 3/4 of the stadium was full at kickoff. And then obviously when we started conceding the goals, everyone kind of walked out, and by the end of the game,
I don't blame them. Yeah,
exactly. There was no one left, really. I mean, I was one of the only people left, like, in my entire row. There's a row of about 40 people, and it was just me left.
I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, I'm always one who heavily preaches, if you bought if you spent your hard-earned money in watching the team, obviously stay to the end. But if you're not happy with the things that you're seeing it consistently, and there's problems that are refusing to be fixed, I don't blame them for walking out. I would have done the exact same thing. And
we had an opportunity there for Coventry, by the way. Wasn't going to challenge Ben Hamer, but he just had a bit of space on the edge of the box, and just a couple of minutes to go now until half time as well.
I just want to quickly highlight a comment put in the chat there by Legend of Games saying thoughts on Wesley Hoot.
Thoughts on Wesley Hoot? I think he's been solid. I mean, I think the partnership he's developed with Ryan Porteous has been excellent. It's been far better than the centre-back partnerships we've seen in recent seasons anyway. I think Kabasele's time at the club is clearly coming to an end. I think you could argue the same with Craig Cathcart actually as well. And I think it's interesting to see that he's been put on the bench today. I think, Chris Wilder clearly wasn't happy with something. Whether he was just resting him today, I'm not sure, but I think we can probably read into it that defensively against Huddersfield, we clearly weren't good enough. And going back to them two at the back in Wesley Hoot and Ryan Porteous, I think is a positive, and we just need to build on it, really. Obviously, we've got Matty Pollock out on loan at Aberdeen, who I believe is doing really, really well there. He scored a goal there. Here we go. Imran Luz on the edge of the box, shoots, blocked. Imran Luz scores.
Yeah, get in.
Scores for Watford. And Watford
get in
against Coventry City. Come on.
Get in. Come on.
Come on, Cal. Come on.
That's exactly what we needed. I mean, this is a bit of a content. I mean, all this negativity that I'm bringing into the chat, and we're 2-0 up. It's typical, but I'm not complaining at all. Where are we now? I think we made. I mean, even though we were winning beforehand, I think we're still 11th. Yeah, we're still 11th, but it's all the more points that we're bringing up the table. Hopefully, I mean, Coventry is still above us, but I mean, if we score 3 more in the second half, then we'll be above them on our goal difference. So, I mean, we can always dream, but yeah, what to start him and loser, like we just discussing him there. I mean, after that, hope he stays for a few more years.
Wow, what a performance by Watford in this first half! I'm excited to get back to the Vic on Saturday now. Obviously, Watford playing Bristol City in the next match. And the 4th goal Imran Luz scored this season. Wow, I didn't realise he'd scored that many. Obviously, he scored, I think he scored against Norwich at Vicarage Road. I think he scored a free kick. Was it away at Stoke? He scored a free kick. He scored today. He's decent. He's a decent little player, Imran Luz.
He is a very, very good player. He's shown it in the Premier League as well. He's shown he has a lot of talent, and I don't think he's actually that old as well. He's definitely still quite young. So
yeah, I think he's only 24, 25.
Exactly. Yeah. So he still has a lot of leg room, especially if he wants to stay with us. Really develop under English football, and then hopefully in time, if we really do fix up as a club, he can stay with us and become one of our mainstays. As well, even though he already is now. If he can become one of our mainstays, moving up higher up the league, that'd be amazing. But yeah, he's a real good player, a real gem, and we have a lot of young midfield talent here for sure.
Well, we've got Yassir Asprilla, who's on the bench as well, finally getting his first Watford goal against Huddersfield. Obviously, the result didn't go our way, but how good was it to see Asprilla score in that game? Great finish by him as well at the near post. Goalkeeper probably should have done a little bit better. But he's been trying to get off the mark for so long. He's had loads of opportunities in the first team. It's just not quite fell for him in front of goal, but finally getting that goal, Cal. Only 19 years of age, I believe, as well. How happy are you for Yassir Asprilla?
Yeah, really, really happy. I mean, he definitely he was one of our brightest sparks, essentially against Huddersfield. I mean, everyone was so happy to see him back, obviously, after so long. He's a real refresher, 100% in our squad, and someone that we can really develop upon if we are going to do such a rebuild, and we do really and we do really spend big, I think it's someone that we can really develop upon. If by some miracle we can keep João Pedro, I think the players we need to really actually I'll keep that for half time. Actually, I'll ask you that question half time. But yes, Aspria really pacey, really electric. Someone that we can really use as someone that can trouble defenders, because it's not every day that you get to see someone in the Championship who's got that much flair, that much pace, and he's a real asset for us, and he's definitely showed that obviously getting the goal versus Huddersfield.
Absolutely. It's about to be half time here against Coventry City. Coventry actually on the attack, just down his right hand side, and well defended there by Ryan Porteous. Now pretty much be it for the half. Coventry just have a throw in the final third here. Josh Eccles getting a yellow card for Coventry. And yeah, a very positive first half for Watford. Has that gone out for a corner? Watford goal kick, and that pretty much is going to be half time in the game. So very, very positive stuff here away at Coventry. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with what we've seen. Actually, Watford making 6 changes going into the game. Ryan Andrews from the academy making his first start for the club. João Pedro kicks things off with a goal for Watford, a great finish into the bottom right-hand corner. And Imran Nusa pops up on the edge of the box just before half-time, kind of a half-volley type finish. Again, beating the Coventry City goalkeeper and putting Watford 2 goals to the good at half-time. So positive stuff for Watford. Let us know your thoughts on the game in chat. And I know Callum mentioned earlier he wanted to discuss a little bit about Ismaila Sarr, his future at Watford at half-time. So Callum, let's talk all things Ismaila Sarr.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, I actually want to try and get your thoughts on him first, and then I'll develop one you want to say. I'll quickly just I'll pin a few pointers just to really start a conversation. Over these past few games, I mean, he's shown that he has quality. He's shown he has Prem quality. He's definitely, I think, well, on his day, he's too good for us, 100%. And he's someone that can really, someone that can really flourish in a different system. But it's shown as well that I feel like he's kind of influenced by the size of the club and how he thinks he's probably a bit too big for the club, hence why he's not really trying. And there's obviously clubs in the Premier League that are willing to take him from us, and it's gonna be really annoying to see that if he does flourish at that club, what he could have done for us, I think. And whilst in the Premier League, he started to show a bit of a dip in form, a bit of a lack of motivation. And that's obviously carried on throughout as we've plummeted further and further down the table. And I just want to really get your thoughts on where you stand with Sarr, because at the moment, I think it's better to cash in on him as for the greater good of not only the club, but for his welfare and how well he gets on at other clubs.
Yeah, I think with Ismaila Sarr, it's always a difficult one. I mean, I think you have to take into account in terms of his future, obviously his contract situation. He has 1 year left in his contract, which expires in the summer of 2024. So in terms of Watford cashing in, this is our last opportunity to do so. Otherwise, he can agree to join a club on free transfer in the January of next year. So I think it's clear to everyone. I think Adam Leventhal actually put out an article for The Athletic basically saying it's likely he will leave in the summer. Where he's going to go, I'm not too sure. But in terms of the time he spent at Watford and how I think it's gone, I just think he's played under the wrong managers, really. I mean, obviously, we brought him in under Javi Gracia initially. And Gracia didn't really play with wingers in the wide areas. We used to have, Will Hughes and Roberto Pereira as kind of our wide players in that system. Ismaila Sarr was used as a striker at times. And obviously, you look at the amount of managers we've had since Ismaila Sarr's been at the club. I'm sure we're probably in double figures for managers now. So I think for any player, not just Ismaila Sarr, it's always going to be difficult to settle. So I think if he just goes to a club with a little bit more, consistency and stability, like a Newcastle or like an AC Milan, for example, as you mentioned earlier, I think that's probably going to be a lot more beneficial for his future. And I think with Sarr, he just needs to believe in himself a bit more. He's got so much pace and so much ability going forward, and he just doesn't utilize it at all. And if I was a fullback, if I was a left back, for example, and Ismaila Sarr was running at me, I'd be absolutely terrified. So I think he does need to, believe in himself a little bit more, because he does come across as quite shy, doesn't he, on the pitch? It's quite a reserved personality.
Quite a closed book.
Yeah, so I think Ismaila Sarr, he just needs to open up. He's in his prime years now in terms of his age, his physical attributes. 25 years old, still got some good years ahead of him. maybe even a Liverpool would be good for Ismaila Sarr. We'll have to see what happens. He's been linked with them in the past, so that's really where I stand. And obviously, Watford just need to try and get a good transfer fee for him. Last year of his contract, I don't think we're going to recoup the 30 million we paid for him initially, but I think 20 million pounds potentially, Cal, could be a good option for Watford.
Yeah, 100%. I think, I probably, if I was to, base on performance, obviously we know that he can be absolutely incredible in his day. So is this in terms, obviously, so you talk about in terms of how much you'd offer for, or how much you'd accept in offers for Sarr or Hal Pedro? Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, well, we're talking about Ismaila Sarr. So, last year with the contract, I think we do have to sell him because, it's quite evident 99.9% of Watford fans, we're not going to go up this season. So it's just, whether, Pozzos are going to hold out for a certain amount of money or are they going to go, actually, we'll take the risk on keeping him and letting him go on a free transfer and hoping that, he can send us to the Premier League the following season. But for me personally, I would look to cash in. I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the amount of money you'd accept for him, because Watford's financial accounts were released recently. I'm not a financial expert by any means, but we are in a lot of debt to Gino Pozzo especially. So yeah, we've got to recoup as much as possible. What is Ismaila Sarr's value with 1 year left in his contract?
Well, it all depends really. I mean, obviously performance really dictates how much you're really worth. In terms, obviously, with this season, if you were to ask me back when I was in the Premier League, I would have said maybe around. You're talking maybe around the 30, 40 million mark. I would have said something around that, because I don't want to obviously seem too unrealistic in that sense how much we get for him. But for now, I feel like I'm going to be totally honest. As much as it hurts me to say it, because obviously I want the best for the club and the best for the players to move for the highest they possibly can go for. But I feel like Ismaila Sarr's value has dipped. Very sadly, I feel like it has dropped from that mark. I would accept probably around 20 to 25 million for him, just so we can really cash in and use that money to elevate the squad in different positions. Maybe try and look at maybe a new long-term right midfielder, someone else to care. I mean, we've still got Matthias Martin to be brought in as well, who I'm very very annoyed that hasn't managed to get a look in this game. Maybe
he scored a hat trick for the under 21s the other day. I don't know if you saw that.
Exhibit A, yeah. So how he has, I mean, I'm happy for Andrews. Obviously, his performance has been quite consistent for the under 21s, but I would have happily taken Matthias Martins at least on the bench in expense for someone else who's on the bench right now. I mean, if you were to make 3 changes to the squad today, what would you make?
In terms of the starting 11?
This is a starting 11 and bench combined. If the players you want to bring in on the bench, with the players you want to bring in from the bench to the starting 11, how would you change it up in a way?
Yeah, let me just bring up the initial starting lineup. So Ben Hamer in goal. Obviously, clearly that can't be avoided. Daniel Batman's got a red card. Hamza Chowdhury. Three players I would change from the bench. I think I would agree with your Martin's inclusion. I think Martin should absolutely be on the bench. Kone, as you said earlier, you really like him. He should probably be in the starting 11. For me, I'd probably put him in over Hamza Chowdhury, actually.
Interesting.
And who's on the bench? Ken Sema. I think he's done enough this season for me to warrant a start in the team today. And Sema's interesting because you can kind of play him as a left winger, a left midfielder, a left back if necessary as well. So those are the changes I'd probably make. And obviously, Assombalonga, he's done okay for us recently, but he's clearly not the long-term solution for Watford. So I probably would have started, Araujo over Assombalonga as well. Definitely,
100%. And I mean, it just on the point there of bringing on Sema, he's been like you said, their versatility is really important, especially if we have a lack of quality in some areas. Like you said, there he's definitely a lot more left side dominated, but he can play as a right midfielder, a right winger if needed as well. So he's definitely a very useful asset for us, especially if we don't stay in the Championship next season, which is looking more likely that we will. He's definitely someone we can really utilise, and he's shown that he does have quality on his day. Actually, I want to quickly see if I can do this. Hold on a second, just bear with me. Oh yeah, by the way, I want to quickly announce that after a whole half of of connection issues. I was actually watching the Watford game without any source of watching it first half.
I think I've done a good job keeping you informed of the goals anyway.
Yeah, but I can inform you now that I do have the game up now. So
oh, good.
But
good.
Yeah. So
there's a message in chat for you, by the way, from Sassid. So it's been a year since we've seen Cal on the channel. Well, pretty much been a year. It's probably been about 9 months or so. For various reasons, he's been a very, very busy guy. And he says, "What have you made of this season? Late charge for playoffs." I've been saying this all stream. Late charge for playoffs, absolutely. Cal, what are your thoughts on that message there?
Oh God, I mean, I want to try and stay as optimistic as possible. Obviously, with the club, I love it so much, and obviously, I want to see it do so well. But I don't want to sound too soppy. Then, oh God, I love this club so much. But yeah, I mean, for this club, I mean, I want to obviously see it do the best it possibly can. But late charge for playoffs. With the clubs above us, if we can see a consistent run of form from here on in, obviously this 2-0 win, well, at the moment, is going to be a huge booster for us. I think
at the moment, fingers crossed.
At the moment, yeah, of course, it's Watford. Anything can happen. It can be a 4-2 win for Coventry in the second half. Who knows? But it's definitely going to be a huge booster for us if we do get the win today. And the Vic will definitely be rocking if we can keep that consistency whilst also showing that we obviously do want the Pozzos to go. And that's what I mean through using our voices and using our passion and what we do, that we love for the football club. That's really going to help us get our voices heard and to really turn the season the best we can around. I mean, if we were to have any chance of getting the playoffs, I'll quickly just check on the table again because I keep on closing in and out of it.
I mean, there's only 5 or 6 points in it. I mean,
exactly. It's so tight.
I know you're being very pessimistic, but it is still possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, where are we now? Oh, wait, for some reason it's updated now. For that 2-0 win, we're now 10th.
We're 10th in the table. Oh, my God.
We're in the top half.
We're in the top half of the table.
We're in the top half. Yeah. We're going to win the league now. Okay, no.
No.
So, so yeah, I mean, so is it 7th to 2nd gets playoffs? Is it 8th to 2nd? 6th. Okay, so. Yeah. At the moment, 6th is Blackburn, and they're on 62 points. We're on 58. So, like you said, there's 4 points in it between 10th to 6th.
This is what I mean. Like, I would fancy our chances catching Blackburn and Millwall. I think they might crumble towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, West Brom. I mean, they're 2-1 up as well, which is definitely helping our cause. Who are they playing against right now? So we have a look. They're playing against QPR. Okay, well, fair enough. I mean, at the moment, if anyone can be QPR at the moment, I mean, yeah. Preston are drawing 0-0. Norwich are drawing 0-0, and then Blackburn obviously probably play tomorrow.
I mean, if we can get Preston and Norwich to lose today, I mean, that would go very much in our favour.
I mean, if we can get a last-minute QPR equaliser to make it 2-2 for West Brom, and then Preston losing 1-0 and Norwich losing 1. Who are Norwich playing? If Norwich are playing Preston, that's going to be quality.
Oh, yeah, I can't actually see from this screen.
Yeah, so Norwich
Rotherham, actually.
Then Preston are playing Reading, and they're 0-0 at the moment. So, yeah, if we can get a Reading winner and a Rotherham winner, which is going to look very unlikely, but I mean, I think Rotherham beat QPR a few days ago, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the thing for me is, and I know we're doing our job against Coventry, but we have to hope other teams can do us a favour now. That's what we're hoping. Other teams can kind of, help our cause, if you will.
Exactly. I mean, at the moment, we're drawn on points with Coventry. The reason why we just managed to pit them is just through goal difference at the moment. So,
well, yeah, even if they scored Coventry, we're equal on goal difference, but because we've scored 2 more goals overall this season. That's what puts us ahead of them in the table.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it just shows, it's so unpredictable. And with the table this close, I mean, obviously excluding Burnley because they've absolutely killed it this season. Yeah. I'd say, it's definitely possible. Like you said, it's not completely over. It's mathematically still in the runnings, but it's looking very unlikely. We just got to hope results go in our favour, like you said there. I mean, it's more about. It's less about what like obviously getting results on the pitch is obviously very important, but then obviously these results for West Brom, Norwich, and Preston from here on into the end of the season is really what's going to dictate whether we do get playoffs or not. And I mean, if you have a look at Blackburn's form, that's very important. Form's definitely something you need to take into account. Preston at the moment, they've won 4 and lost 1 in their last 5.
Look at Blackburn, as you mentioned, they've only got 1 win in 5 games.
same as us. So yeah, I mean, it's all dependent on what we do. I mean, I don't think Norwich have done that as well. They've got 1 win in their last 5 as well.
Yeah,
so
this is what I mean. It is. I know you're a pessimist, and I know you're probably being more realistic than I am. I'm probably being a little bit ridiculous. It is possible. Let's just see what happens today.
Anything can happen. Yeah,
we've got to win this game first, and then we've got Bristol City on Saturday. Brendan's coming over for that, by the way. Cal is actually coming over.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
To get to see Brendan again in real life, which would be very, very nice. Bristol City are 15th at the moment. Obviously, Nigel Pearson will be coming back to Watford for that game. He's obviously in charge of Bristol City at the moment. And you've got a message from Felipe in chat as well. He says, hello, how are things? Things are very, very well. Thank you, Felipe. He says, just tuned in. How was the first half? It was very, very good. Watford largely dominated possession. We limited Coventry to very, very few opportunities. Ben Hamer making 1 save, really, from a good chance. Joao Pedro getting the first goal for Watford with a good finish into the bottom right-hand corner. And Imran Louza on the half volley getting the second goal for Watford. So thank you very much for tuning in, Felipe. And things are going very, very well so far.
I just want to quickly see if we can do this just before half-time happens. Hold on a sec. What do we do here?
Probably about 2 minutes before the players come back out, FYI.
That's fine, no worries.
To see what the reaction is on Twitter as well while I'm here. I'm sure everyone's very, very happy. I know a lot of fans were planning to take Gino out, banners and stuff to Coventry. Whether they're still going to show them, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Imran Louza, everyone's very happy with him. The work rates there, someone says tackles flying in, controlling the game, good shape. That's exactly what we like to see. Coventry City have come out for the second half, just awaiting the Golden Boys now.
I should have something on a shared screen quickly, by the way, James. Just wanted to quickly show that if you can.
I'm on my phone at the moment, so I don't actually know if I can put it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I got a new computer, but it doesn't support StreamYard on there directly. So,
okay, no worries. Yeah, it was just basically what I was going to show.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone. He's disappeared. Do you reckon I can add him back? Is he still there? He's gone. You've just got me at the moment. We'll wait for Coward to come back. Wrexham, by the way, are losing by 1-0 at the racecourse ground against Notts County. Watford have just come out for the second half as well. Here we go. Cow's come back. I'll add him back in just a second. Felipe says, thanks for the update. Very Jackal and Hyde this season. I do absolutely agree with that. There's just been no consistency, really. Hopefully we can get consistency now because it's very, very important we do. But yeah, hopefully Cal's back now. Not sure what happened there. Probably had a few internet issues. Looks like he's back. Let's add him back into the stream. There he is. He's back.
I pressed the wrong button.
No worries,
I was meant to close the thing I was on, but I accidentally ended the entire thing. That was my fault. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries, mate. Wrexham losing, by the way, if you're interested.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
The Ben Foster conceding a goal there.
Can I make for a tasty vlog?
Well, they lost the game on Friday, I believe, and he didn't upload a vlog from that. But yeah, here we go. Golden Boys are back underway, and we are shooting towards the away fans second half as well, by the way, if you are interested. So shooting towards the Watford fans. And yeah, it looks like it's nice weather up there in Coventry. It's a little bit stormy here where I am. Had a lot of rain earlier today, and it's very, very windy all of a sudden as well.
I just want to quickly check they were on the same page. I'm now on 45.50. What are you on?
I'm on 45.40.
Oh, I'm ahead. Oh,
that's good. You're 10 seconds ahead, so you can be our lead if there's a big moment.
Okay, no worries. I was 3-0. I'm joking.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh dear. Oh yeah, that's all right. 10 seconds isn't too bad. I've done live streams before where the person I've been watching with is like 2 minutes behind. So 10 seconds.
I think that was me. I think that was me for Southampton.
Yeah, 10 seconds is fine. It's all good. I wonder if we'll be doing another watch long before the end of the season. Let's just take a look at what fixtures we've got left. I've done about 4 or 5 so far this year. I've not done too many live streams so far this year, but I do enjoy doing them. We've done a lot of pre-recorded content and getting the other opposition fans on as well. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that. So we've got Bristol at home on Saturday. Then we've got Cardiff at home the following Wednesday. Hull City away, I might be able to do a watch along for. And Sunderland away as well, if I can find a feed, of course. If not, I'll just be listening to it's like a radio feed or something like that. Hull City I might be able to, and Sunderland I might be able to as well. Not many games left to go.
Well down the left. Pedro working down the left. Can you get a cross in here? Oh no, you can't.
5 games left after today. It feels like the season has just flashed by.
It's definitely been good build-up play here from Watford in the first 2 minutes. Hamza Chowdhury battling out there, but it goes out for it's obviously our corner or goal kick, and that's a goal kick.
And Hamza Chowdhury there, almost playing as a bit of a right winger.
Hamza Chowdhury there, just very weirdly punching the ball into the air there. Maybe it's out of frustration.
I believe Hamza Chowdhury actually is fasting at the moment as well.
For Ramadan,
for Ramadan. So there's a lot of controversy around that. I think it was either Italy or France where they weren't letting them basically break their fast, obviously when the sun sets during evening matches.
I think it was in the Spanish league as well. Someone actually faked an injury for a long time just so their players could fast.
Yeah, it's terrible, really. I mean, it should be an unwritten rule where if you have players on any team who's fasting and they break their fast during a match, they should stop play, really.
Definitely.
Imran Lee's doing some good work there in the corner.
He is indeed.
It looks like referee's blown up for a foul against Watford.
I mean, I can see it to the sides. I mean, there's not many Coventry fans I can see.
Kevin says, good so far, Jim Bob, says Kevin. Thank you for that. Got it on the TV. Yeah, we've been doing very well. Thank you, buddy. It makes a change that Watford are actually winning the football match by a couple of goals as well. Very, very exciting.
I love that, Jim Bob.
I spoke to this guy before, actually. He has a decent YouTube channel, so good to see him tuning in. I used to be called Jim Bob at school, actually. So that's where the nickname came from.
Well, I have plenty of Jameses in my family. And they're called Jim Bob.
I was in like a drama class at school, and I think there was 2 Jameses. I can't remember this other guy. It's such a long time ago.
Oh, what a hit nearly by Louser there. It was saved. That's a force to goalkeeper.
Oh, really? Here we go. I'm 10 seconds behind, so let's see my delayed reaction to this. Decent hit there.
A bit too high there with the cross coming in from the left-hand corner. Hamza Chowdhury now pulling it inside there. Not the best of not the best of whips in. We play it down on the right here.
You have to say, Cal, it's probably the best. It's probably the best we've played so far this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been the most electric start we have, or we've had for a long time, and it's definitely something that's refreshing for sure. It's just all about building upon this now. I think Wilder's been a huge part to play in this. I feel like he's definitely grilled into them a bit because he was absolutely incandescent after the Huddersfield game, really ripping into the players. So I'm hoping that's really given them the motivation to kick up the backside to really, charge on for us this season and play like they are. Because if we can see this Watford, then like you said, promotion's not out of the question.
Yeah, and just obviously keep an eye on the match while we're discussing this next subject as well. But Chris Wilder's contract, obviously, he signed a short-term deal until the end of the season. I know he's publicly said that he'd like to stay on as well after this season. Is that something you'd look to get done in the summer, keeping Chris Wilder? Is he someone you personally like as a manager, as a personality?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's like an unwritten rule in Watford that, especially in Pozzo's case, that if things go wrong, then we literally get a new manager every single time. I mean, there was a point we had more managers sacked than wins at one point. So it just kind of proves that we chop and change consistently. So Wilder's 100% for me, not the problem. I feel like, sure, sometimes his subs and his ways that's out the team can be questionable, but he's definitely not the main culprit in whatever's going on at the club. So it also just saves him bringing a new manager. I can't bear another change. So I think
his honesty has been refreshing as well. Like after the Luton game, he's very, very honest in his reaction to that as well.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really good. I mean, he kind of brought eyes in Antonio Conte in that press conference. It's really showing, that I mean, at least
Antonio Conte's hilarious, by the way.
yeah, had a proper outburst. But
yeah,
it proves that he cares. He was on a short-term deal, and I'm happy that I didn't even know that he wants to stay on. I'm very happy to hear that. But yeah, it shows that he does care. He shows that he wants the best for the club, and if we can keep that mentality, hopefully he can really draw that into the players as well. It's a big ask because I think there's a very a long list of people here that are really trying to click up play slips per week. But there's that select few who do care, and hopefully we can really implement that throughout the whole squad. There's definitely 2 players here that I think are definitely too good for Watford, and if we can keep them for as long as we can by keeping the club a happy place, which at the moment it really isn't, then
Joao Pedro doing good work there down the left-hand side, by the way, wasn't he, Callum?
He was indeed, yes, and I can just see that's been played on down to Hassan Kamara, and we restart another attack.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of the play has gone through Joao today. Obviously, he scored the first goal, and I think it was actually his pass into Imran Louza, which actually ended up with the Imran Louza goal as well. So, again, relying on a lot of individual quality, but I think we have played more as a team today. It looks like everyone knows what their specific roles are in the team, which is always a positive.
It's great play there by Louza. Great link-up play between Louza and Pedro there.
They're playing with smiles in their faces as well, aren't they?
I mean, check that stat out. I don't know if it's gone out for you. Second half successful passes. Coventry 6, Watford 50.
Wow, yeah, I've just seen that come up.
That is what we want to see. That is what we want to see.
That is exactly what we want to see.
That is Wilder ball and
pure domination.
Indeed.
Chris Wilder's got a bit of a belly on him, actually, isn't he? Just thought I'd point out. Oh dear.
This is what Watford does to him, man.
Yeah. He's definitely got more grey hairs.
I've definitely got more grey hairs.
Oh God, I hope I don't get any anytime soon. I think I'll be okay.
I'm gonna turn to Philip Schofield in a few games time.
Philip Schofield's got like silver hair almost.
Silver fox, yeah.
Silver fox, yeah. My dad's going grey a little bit around the sides, but yeah, in some families, like grey hairs, like people start going grey when they're like 25. Like luckily
I had a kid in school who had like a grey patch like there. I was like
God,
like
a really tiny patch, like
a little tiny patch. Yeah, it was like either on the back or the front of his head. I don't know where it was necessarily. Ryan Andrews has just been booked there. I've just seen now.
Yeah, would you look to bring him off maybe? He's had a good, what we played now, about 55 minutes in this match.
Around that, yeah.
He's had a good solid outing. You don't want to get, someone like him sent off being so young as well. I think, around 60, 65 minutes, would you look to make a couple of changes maybe? Bring on his Marcone, for example?
Yeah, 100%. I'd definitely look to add a bit more of a refreshing start. I'd definitely take off Hamza Chowdhury. He's on a yellow as well. And like you said there, he's someone that I probably would have changed out of the squad in the first place. Probably bring on, like I said, it's Marcone. Yeah. Or who else do we have on our bench?
Well, we've got Ken Sema who can come on into like a full-back position as well. Christian Cabasele, although I don't think we really want to see him, do we?
Oh, West Brom are drawing 2-2. We're up to 9th.
Oh, this is a really positive day at the moment. Good Easter Monday this has been.
Calm it. It's Watford. We can.
I'm going to actually grab. Hold on. Give me one moment. Here we go.
Oh God! I don't know what he's got here. Oh, he's got an Easter egg.
I've got some mini eggs.
Oh, I got some mini eggs. Quality.
To celebrate our imminent 2-0 victory, hopefully.
I mean, what else have we got here? Just to give you guys an update as well, in the Wrexham Notts County game, it is now 1-1. Paul Mullin with the goal in the 48th minute.
Wow, I do love mini eggs. I do really love mini eggs.
Yeah, the passion for mini eggs.
Excuse me. They're very crunchy.
I found this on the web.
Oh, there you go. Series I want to have.
Sorry about that. My Siri's going off there.
We've got to hope Norwich now. We've got to hope Rotherham pull off an absolute blinder now. Hopefully they can get a last-minute goal. That takes us up to 8th. So if Preston could, we have the potential to go up to. Where do we have the potential to go up to?
So we're 9th at the moment. So who are Norwich playing again? Norwich have got Rotherham. So we need Norwich to lose.
Yeah,
basically.
so the highest we can get up to today, I think, is 8th.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is still incredible.
Oh no, yeah, eight's our limit for today, actually.
Which isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination, especially how close it is as well. If we can
see what I mean, how quickly things can change.
Yeah, this is why the EFL, I think, is a really good league. It's just it's there's a lot of unpredictability in it, and things can change like that as soon as
a fan, it's very stressful, clearly, but
yeah. Oh god, okay, Coventry come on the attack here. I think this is Gyökeres facing off against Andrews, I believe. Takes on a shot and it is in. Coventry 2-1.
For God's sake. And I'm just seeing it on my end now, actually, obviously, because I'm delayed.
Ben Hamer could have done a lot better, though.
Yeah, you know what? That is poor goalkeeping. He just stood there and watched that go in. I know it's a decent strike, but he should have been off his line a bit more there, I think.
Oh, that is quite easy come out. No, I've just seen that replay back. That's woeful goalkeeping. He watches it. He ball watches.
Let's take a look at this. So replay.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, honestly, if that was a diving save, that would have been saved. Yeah,
that's comical. What the hell is he doing?
He's holding his hand out.
What the hell is he doing? Is he basically saying, "Oh, don't worry, it's going wide"?
Yeah, and it curls into the. Yeah, that's awful goalkeeping from Ben Hamer.
And that was Gyökeres.
Yeah, no, it was Godden, I think, who scored the goal.
Oh, Godden, sorry.
Yeah, I can't. That's horrific from Ben Hamer.
Oh God, why do we do this? What is wrong with us?
Don't worry, it was still 2-1. Oh, I'm turning into the optimist now.
Well, yeah, no, actually, we'll be a place down now because our goal difference will be worse than Coventry again.
Let's have a look. Yeah, no. I think we're still 9th. No, we're still 9th.
Let me refresh this page. Oh, we are still 9th. Oh no, I don't think the score's updated yet on Google.
Yeah, on Google hasn't yet. No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's so frustrating. No. I mean,
and this is going to give Coventry a real boost now as well. And now Bakuna's got a yellow card.
Let us know your thoughts on that goalkeeping because, from our perspective, I mean, mine counts perspective, that's clearly an error. 35-year-old goalkeeper who hasn't played.
Oh no! Okay, it's fine. That was a real chance there for a penalty for Coventry.
I mean, they appealed. Referee waved it away. Bakuna's getting involved in something here. What's Bakuna's problem?
And Bakuna just got a yellow card as well. That would have been really risky.
Coventry player went down again there in the box.
Yeah.
It's back against the wall now, isn't it?
Don't bottle this now. Don't bottle this now, boys. Come on. We played so well in that first half.
I'll be doing a match reaction to this game later this evening as well. It should be out on YouTube around probably 7:30 p.m. Hopefully, I'll be reacting to a Watford victory. Fingers crossed. But it doesn't look like that at the moment. Yeah. Very nervy moments for Watford. That is really poor from Ben Hamer. No excuses for that. He's a professional goalkeeper at the end of the day. He should be doing better.
Definitely.
Bakuna's getting involved unnecessarily. Just seeing that in the replay. If he'd gone for like a head shove there, that could have been a red card.
Really, yeah, really, really poor. I still can't get over that.
We can't lose our heads again because we did this against Huddersfield and it ultimately cost us the game and it cost us our first choice goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
No. Well, let's change the tone a little bit.
Coventry definitely have turned it a lot more on in the last few minutes.
We're down to 11th, by the way, now in the table.
Oh, man, we're now bottom half again, for God's sake.
Well, no, how many teams are there? 24. So we're technically...
Well, just surviving, yeah, still first half.
What are your thoughts on Burnley this season? We've not really discussed them today. Obviously, they recently secured promotion. Vincent Company doing a marvelous job with them. They've been a real force in the division this season. What are your thoughts on what they've achieved, really? Because I think they've lost 2 games for the entire season so far. It's been fantastic to watch, hasn't it?
It's been amazing. Yeah, I think Vincent Company coming into the first job really as a manager. Actually, it wasn't actually, but he managed Anderlecht. Obviously, came in to do a job in Burnley, and obviously Belgian football and English football is a bit of a stark contrast. Oh no, Lars got a yellow card. We're getting yellow cards all over the place here.
Oh.
Yeah, look, yeah. So we've got 2 of our midfielders, 2 of our 3 midfielders. Oh no, I think all of them have got a yellow card now, because I think Chowdhury's
so we've got one. I don't think Chowdhury's been booked though, has he?
I think he has.
Has he?
Let me check. Yeah, all of our midfielders, Chowdhury, Loser, and Bakuna all have yellow cards now.
Is this the time, as we discussed, where you bring on an Ismail
Kone needs to come. Kone, even though he's not back to 100%, he's on the bench. Asprilla, he needs to. I think
Asprilla, can open things up creatively as well.
We also have another young boy on the bench, Miles Roberts. He's a goalie. I don't think he's going to come on for Ben Hamer anytime soon.
No, I doubt it. That's embarrassing to sub our goalkeeper off mid-game.
Yeah, anyway, back onto Burnley. Yeah, I mean, Company, there's rumours about him even taking the reins over at Spurs, I heard.
Blimey, that'd be interesting. I think they'll give it one more season at Burnley, see how they do in the Prem. But, I can definitely, from what I've seen, the football they play is unbelievable. I mean, it's a stark contrast from, the Sean Dyche Burnley that we all associate them with. It's been, really, really good.
And now Sean Dyche is absolutely killing it at Everton. Really turning.
I wouldn't say killing it. I mean, they are still in a bit of a precarious position.
So, yeah, sometimes they can let in very unneeded goals, put it that way. But yeah, I mean, Everton, their fall off anyway has been pretty tragic, considering they spent so much money and they're now fighting in a relegation zone. I think Sean Dyche will still keep them up because he has that no nonsense style of football and no nonsense style of play. So I think that's really going to benefit them, because I think they were playing quite timid under the likes of Frank Lampard, and that really wasn't. I mean, Frank Lampard didn't really have any tactics, and I think that's really detrimentally impacted them throughout the whole of the season. So with Sean Dyche, he's proven he can do it with Burnley. He's kept them up an ungodly amount of times, obviously, before they got relegated.
On a really low budget, actually, they had
on a really low budget. Yeah, so it shows that that you can make a mountain out of a molehill, and it's interesting.
What was that saying there? They can make a mound out of a what?
A mountain out of a molehill.
A mountain out of a molehill. I've never heard that before.
Basically means it basically means you can make a lot out of a little.
Okay, very interesting. I'll take that on board. I'll bring it out in another stream.
Very welcome. Gyökeres with a shot here. Oh, nearly just left.
Kevin says it's all kicking off in this game now. Absolutely, Kevin. I think Watford need to calm down a little bit.
Gyökeres just with a missed shot there on the left-hand side.
Felipe says, what's the beef with Okoye? Not even on the bench. Well, we discussed that earlier, Felipe, but just to briefly sum up our thoughts, both very confused. He come into the club for a high transfer fee, £6 million from Sparta Rotterdam. Young, promising goalkeeper, very tall as well, physically, dominates the goal. But I don't know. I don't believe he's injured, Felipe, so it's just up to the manager's discretion, really. They clearly think he's not ready for Championship football, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a shame as well, because if Ben Hamer's going to make mistakes like that, then I can't see him staying as a mainstay, especially as a backup for a very long time. So I think we definitely should have given him a chance.
I think in clubs you've always got to have that experienced pro who's done it, in his career as kind of like your second or third choice goalkeeper. But that it was a ridiculous goal to concede. Decent shot. Not brilliant, just a decent shot on target. I don't know what his thinking was there, really, but I'm not going to blame him too much. He's not played a professional match for about 6 or 7 months now. So it is what it is ultimately. Hopefully Watford can either get a third goal or obviously hold on to the lead they've got at the moment.
I'm surprised. Kevin's now also never heard of mountain out of a molehill. I thought it was a common saying. Unless
it's referring to me not knowing.
To be fair, I think it can be taken out of a different context.
Never heard of
mountain
out of a molehill. I think I have heard it before. I've just never said it in any context whatsoever.
Yeah, hold on a second. I think it definitely is a saying. Hold on.
Unless you just made it up. I'm joking.
A mountain out of a molehill. Making I've used it in a completely. It is a saying.
What is it? What does it mean?
Yeah, I've kind of made my own saying up there. An own definition for it. Making a mountain out of a molehill is an idiom referring to an overreactive histrionic. I'll try that again. Histrionic behaviour where a person makes too much of a minor issue. Yeah, I've used that. I've kind of made my own definition up for it though.
I kind of say Coventry. Sheath for Coventry has just missed an amazing opportunity. Unmarked in the box. All he had to do was get it on target.
And that could have us been bottling a 2-0 lead.
And that would have been, taking the game there to 2-2 with, 20 minutes left to go as well.
It's looking shaky. I won't lie. I'm surprised there's been no. Has any subs come on yet? Do you know?
Not yet for Watford. No, I've been keeping an eye on it. There is a substitution in the Wrexham game though, which is still 1-1. Wrexham versus Notts County there. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are at the racecourse ground. He's laughing at me, Kevin said, because I've never heard of it.
To be fair, I did use it in the wrong context. I know it was a saying, but it wasn't used in the.
Oh, we've lost Cal here. His internet connection's gone.
Oh yeah, no, I'm back now. Can you hear me?
He's back.
It keeps on going on and off. I do apologise. Yeah, I have really dodgy connections sometimes.
Wrexham have scored. It's 2-1 to Wrexham. The crowd go wild.
Big Benny getting promoted, hopefully.
Wow. In a big game that might decide the National League title, Wrexham go 2-1 up. And Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, goes crazy.
Is Rob there as well?
Yeah, Rob's there as well, yeah.
Yeah, cool. It wouldn't surprise me.
Apparently, Ryan Reynolds has brought... I mean, my mum was telling me earlier, for some random reason, apparently Ryan Reynolds has brought like a £1 million mansion in Wrexham. So there we go. Very interesting.
I'm shocked that he's actually bought something in Wales, but I mean, all the more power to him.
I mean, I suppose, if they're over here for like a couple of weeks, it saves them like flying back and forth in the US. It's quite a long way to travel for each match, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely.
I wish I could afford a £1 million mansion, but there you go. One day.
How Pedro is sitting down, though, he doesn't look in the best of sorts. And looks like there's going to be a sub coming on now here. Craig Cathcart he's coming on for somebody. Pardon me.
Oh, yeah. He's number 15. Oh, no. He's 57 then.
Andrews is coming off. Very, very good debut for him. Fair play.
Let's give him a round of applause. An academy graduate there. First ever appearance for the club.
And hopefully that can be the start of a win for him on his
he's looked good as well. Debut. He's looked good.
He has looked good, and I mean, who's our normal right back? Wait, it's normally
it'd be probably between Ngakia and Joao Ferreira.
Ferreira, that's it, yeah, Ferreira. But
I think they're both they must both be injured because none of them are on the bench today.
I mean, after what I've seen, I definitely would keep Andrews for the next game. I think he definitely has proven that he's done well.
Throw in here for Coventry. How is Araujo playing, says Felipe? Does he look out of his depth? He was kind of thrown into the game a little bit, wasn't he, Cal? But I think since he's come on, he's made some good runs in behind. He's just not really had a clear-cut opportunity yet, has he?
Not really. I think he's definitely been a bit of a hologram in our attack. Everything's really been fed through via Hal Pedro, so it's not really we're not really seeing much of him. He's not really got involved with any goal involvements as of yet, but hopefully that can change as we only have 20 minutes to go here, so maybe his fortunes can turn around. But yeah, nothing much from him as of yet.
Still Wrexham 2, Notts County 1. Keep an eye on that as well. I'm always very interested in what Wrexham are up to. I think they are making a Deadpool 3 film actually, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Coventry got on the attack here. It's a pass, but it's fizzled out and it is collected.
It's frustrating being the one who's behind now, Cal. I'm 10 seconds behind the action.
I have all the exclusives.
You have them. Come on, Watford.
You just need to hold on.
Cathcart
Comes in here. It's 2-2.
Oh, God.
I told you.
What to say. I mean, ignore the goalkeeper there because it's irrelevant in that situation. He couldn't have done much there, but.
Oh, man.
And this is why we won't get promoted ultimately, isn't it?
I mean, it was knocked on. I don't think it was purposely knocked on, but then it was just the person's in the box at the right time. Ben Hamer had no chance. No goalkeeper had no chance in that situation. But it's just that is so annoying.
Yeah, I think the guy who initially headed it was just trying to get any sort of contact on, and then it I can't say the word, but it fortuitously fell to the Coventry City player there. He finishes it marvellously, and it's now 2-2. And there's also a balloon on the pitch. Damn, that is frustrating, Cal.
That is so. I mean, if we go and lose this now, I'm going to be so annoyed. Chris Wilder is incandescent, as you can see on the side there.
It's not good. Not good. Especially when we got another defender on as well.
Right. There's Watford corner, though, as you say that.
Come on. A last-minute winner would be class.
How have we bottled a 2-0 lead?
Kevin says those mini eggs brought me some extremely bad luck. They did. I get too confident, actually. I think it's an issue I've got. I get too confident. I think, Watford are, safe and are going to get the win. And what's that famous saying, Cal? We see it all the time. They say 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline in football. It's proved to be today. And another score update for you is now Wrexham 2, Notts County 2. Notts County equalising at the racecourse ground.
So both games that you're looking at are now 2-2?
Both games are 2-2, yeah. They've literally matched each other. Oh, dear.
God, football is just it's unmatched. You can't beat it, can you?
And the Notts County fans go wild. Corner here for Watford, Cal.
Indeed. Looks like it's being taken on the right-hand side here. Hopefully, Cathcart can get his noggin on it. He gets whipped in here. It's just over.
Imran Luz is good at set pieces, isn't he? I think he's probably, out of all the players in the squad, he's the one person you'd want standing over a set piece, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. He's an absolute towering man. Very, very scary.
We've never really had a really good set piece taker since probably, going all the way back to Alman Abdi in 2014. Which is nearly 10 years ago, really. So, hopefully Imran Luz can be that guy for us.
I think another man taking the reins in terms of crossing and really whipping the ball. I think Forestieri was very, very good at that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that's quoting back to the very famous, to the world famous build up towards one of the most memorable goals in English history.
Yes, yeah. Which I literally see that goal replayed probably. I'd say 3 or 4 times a week. It will just pop up on my Twitter feed or my Instagram feed. You know what I mean? It just appears out of nowhere. Yeah.
It's just showing all the score updates in the games all across the EFL. Cardiff are losing to Sunderland at the moment. Norwich still drawing with Rotherham 1-1. 0-0, sorry. Preston are winning against Reading 1-0. West Brom are drawing with QPR 2-2. Wigan are losing to Swansea 2-0. And that is it so far. We've got Bristol City versus Middlesbrough at 5:30 tonight. And Burnley versus Sheffield, a first versus second clash at 8 p.m. tonight.
Well, it's exciting, but Burnley are probably still going to win the title. Do you know what I mean? It's
No,
like,
they practically have won the title. I mean, they're promoted, aren't they?
well, yeah. I mean, they're secured automatic promotion, but they've not officially won the
title
yet.
just yet. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
This could be a corner for. Oh wait, no, he's kept it in quite well, but that is going to be a throw into Coventry. 15 minutes left on the clock. Can we turn it around?
Here's Wrexham. And it's a goal! 3-2 to Wrexham!
What a game!
Oh, wow. That's
God, I am watching.
I
am going to watch Ben Foster's vlog when that comes out. That's going to be an exciting game.
Wrexham taking the lead. Hopefully, Watford can do the same in our game against Coventry. It's currently 2-2 away at the Coventry City Arena, I believe it's called.
I bet Deadpool is going nuts right now.
He's going absolutely ballistic. He's got his whole family there as well.
I've read some of the comments on Watford's post when we were winning 2-0 in the first half. So, and the top comment saying, keep playing like this and we're going to win the Champions League.
Well, you know, it was a good first half performance, but second half, not so much.
Second half, we've absolutely we've flunked it.
Yeah, it's a 90-minute game, unfortunately.
Oh no! Someone in the comments in that post is I put, if we choke this, I'm getting an R9 cut. Oh dear!
I don't think I'd look good with that.
And then someone else just replied to that saying, "Get the razors out." So.
But here's Coventry camped out on the edge of the Watford box at the moment. They make their way into the penalty area, lay it out wide.
That's a great nutmeg pass here, and it could go through, but it's gone straight to a Watford player.
And yeah, this Wrexham Notts County game has been class to watch as well. And then, yeah, lots of football this week. I mean, obviously, Championship games today. Champions League Tuesday and Wednesday, I believe, and then Europa League on Thursday as well, before then more football at the weekend. So non-stop football.
I mean, like I said, football is just unmatched, isn't it?
It is unmatched. What other sports are you into? I don't think we've ever really discussed that with you. Like, do you watch? I know football's probably like, you know, our main sport we watch, but are you into like F1, for example, or tennis, golf, cricket?
I mean, if F1's on, I'd definitely watch it because I understand the preface of it a little bit. Obviously, football's my main priority. You know, if that was on over F1, I'd definitely watch football. But yeah, if F1's definitely on, if there's a qualifying round or there's just an actual Grand Prix on with no football, for example, if it's an international break, I'd definitely watch the F1. If there's any big boxing fights on, I'd watch them as well. I think, I mean,
did you watch the AJ fight recently? That was all right.
It was all right. Not the most convincing performance. I was expecting a knockout from AJ, but I'm upset that Fury Usyk never went through.
Oh, it's frustrating. I don't get what Tyson Fury's problem is really. He's just, you know, he always speaks in the media about how he's not about money, and then the negotiations with him, regardless of who is fighting, always seem to break down because of money and percentages. So yeah, it's a funny one really with Tyson Fury.
Definitely, I'm starting to think that he was actually a bit scared of Usyk as well.
I rate Usyk, to be fair.
Yeah, I do very highly.
But yeah, you know, AJ announced yesterday actually he won't be fighting again until December. He was meant to be having a fight in July.
I have an inkling that's probably going to be against. I reckon that'll be quite a big fight. I'm going to say it's either another Dillian White fight or a Wilder fight, I reckon. Yeah,
this is what I mean. I think the negotiation is probably ongoing for whoever that opponent may be. So we'll have to wait and see. I like AJ. He's from Watford.
Exactly, the Watford boy. I was actually funny story. I was in the dentist, and funny enough, my mate was there as well. And I was waiting for my dentist.
Interesting story so far.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting place where it starts off. But yeah, I was in the dentist. I was waiting for my dentist appointment, as you do. All of a sudden, AJ walks in. I was like, "Wow, that's cool." He was being surrounded by loads of people. I was looking for photos, and yeah, then he sat opposite me. So that was really cool. I was like, "This is very odd."
Did you have like a conversation with him then?
Nah, I think he was very, very busy. I think he had like 2 or 3 people around him at the time, so I couldn't really get a look in. But yeah, he was just sat.
You must go to a posh dentist.
It was a very posh dentist. I'll give you that.
You're rolling in the money.
Oh wait. Oh, is that a penalty for? Oh, it's a penalty for Coventry.
Oh, is it been given?
Yeah.
No. Okay. You know what? Whatever. We've thrown this away. He's not giving it though, is he? What's he pointing to? The referee.
I think he has.
What's happened here? I mean, it does look like a penalty to me. Kamara, very clumsy.
Yeah,
gets nutmegged, doesn't he?
Is that a touch on the foot? Oh no, it isn't. It's not a penalty. Sorry.
Oh,
worried you guys there.
You got me worried, mate.
Apologies about that.
It looked like, I always get confused because sometimes the referees, it looks like they point to the spot and they're not actually pointing to the spot. They're pointing to something completely different.
Yeah, I definitely thought I was a pen. Yeah,
it should have been a pen, if we're being honest.
Yeah, definitely. It should have been a pen.
About 8 minutes to go in the Wrexham game, by the way, as well.
What Wrexham a game that's
winning that by 3 goals to 2. Oh, Kamara's becoming a bit of a liability now. He's sliding into people all over the place.
He's just putting an absolute terrible attempt at it across there. There's a balloon on the pitch waiting to be popped.
Oh my God. That was a big opportunity there for Sarr to get the ball in.
Come on, boys. 8 minutes left. There's been no attacking changes as well. There's been no midfield changes.
Yeah, but in terms of strikers to bring on, we've already made the change of obviously Araujo for Sambalonga, which I'm sure they would have made in an ideal situation later in the game. So I suppose the only change we can make creativity-wise is Asprilla.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, he's not really 100%, is he? Let's be honest. I mean, obviously he came off against Huddersfield with an injury.
My good friend Dellis is in chat, who's a Man United fan, taking a piss out of Watford. Yeah, we've capitulated today. We have capitulated today,
like we do as per, which is really, really sad to say.
As per usual, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely a penalty. That they've just shown you.
Kamara's come off.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, it was definitely a penalty. Kamara has come off though, rightfully so, and Ken Sema has come on.
Asprilla is on as well. Kamara.
Asprilla is also on as well. He's come off for Bacuna.
Good substitutions. Probably a little bit too late, but good substitutions.
Now we've got nothing to lose. I'm assuming probably Chowdhury's moving into that CDM position, replacing Bacuna.
Well, the thing is, there is nothing to lose because ultimately, for any chance of success this season, we have to win this game. So let's just go for it now.
Exactly, yeah. All out. Like, just go all out.
I'd rather lose 4-3 and just have a go than a nothing 2-2 draw.
Chance for Coventry, though. Takes a shot on, but it is blocked by us. Now we have a chance to go on the counter-attack. That's a great backheel pass. Now we're on the run.
Go on, Cal. Keep us updated, mate.
That's a great ball onwards. Oh, Henry Caraljo, if he had just a better touch, that would have been a really, really good chance.
That's a good run by Ismaila Sarr. And yeah, as you say, Araujo, just a bit of a heavy first touch there.
Yeah, it was a great run by Ismaila Sarr. Plays it in, and that's a very, very heavy first touch there by Henry Caraljo.
It's a shame. It is a shame because there's so much positivity we had after that first half. But again, we just don't have the right characters, I don't think, just to see these games over the line. You know, when that first Coventry goal went in, we kind of both looked at each other and went, you know, this is going to be the Coventry City comeback now. And ultimately, that's happened. It's 2-2. It could end up being 3-2 if Watford aren't careful.
Yeah, really. I mean, knowing Watford, this game could change in a click of a finger. So we just got to, keep on working at it. So Ellis put in the chat, there must be lots of what in Watford, mate. Tell me about it.
Oh dear. There you go.
Good dropping all sorts here.
Where should I put that? I'll put that there. I've got so many screens.
Is your room turned to the VAR room?
Pretty much.
So many screens.
There we go. Oh.
No, it's falling again.
Falling again.
Here come Coventry.
On the attack. I'll tell you what I'll do.
Just wrestling with our right back, but the right back does push over Gyökeres by the looks of it, and it's going to be yellow. Another yellow card for one of our defenders. That's going to be Wesley Hout this time. Hoot. This time. Hoot. With the yellow card there, just pushing over. Is that Gyökeres? Actually, no, it's one of the Coventry players. And yeah, we're playing it risky. We're definitely playing risky. Of course, Wesley Hoot coming from the club that Vincent Kompany used to manage as well, Anderlecht.
Yes, and also formerly of Southampton as well, Wesley Hoot.
Yes.
Wrexham with a corner here, much more exciting than Watford.
It's very, very exciting. That game's going to be an absolute corker. The atmosphere's going to be nuts. So good shot inwards, and Ben Hamer does get a hand to it.
You know what? If Ben, it's just so frustrating. If that first goal doesn't go in the way it does, we might be comfortably sailing to victory right now. But
yeah, you know that was disgraceful goalkeeping from Ben Hamer. He literally had he had his hand out. He was just like, "Boys, it's here. Go straight to the bottom left."
I don't get what he was doing there. I think it's because sometimes goalkeepers signal that it's going wide of the goal. So they're like, no one touch it, it's fine.
So Coventry are starting to become a bit wasteful here. They're starting to take shots, unnecessary shots outside the box.
Yeah, but Coventry, they've got a lot to play for in this game in terms of their fellow promotion ambitions.
There's someone right on the right-hand side that was completely free there. No one marking him. That could have actually been 3-2 there.
Well defended there by Wrexham. About to go into extra time in their game. Watford have got about a minute left of normal time in our game.
To salvage something. I mean, if we can get a 3-2 winner here, we're going to go nuts.
I'll go nuts. My parents probably won't like it downstairs, but I will be going nuts.
Has there been any streams where you have gone nuts before?
I did the promotion winning stream again under Zisco Munoz, where we beat Millwall at Vicarage Road. That got us promoted, and that was about nearly a 3-hour stream. I had about 20 different Watford fans come on, like you had today, on video call, like giving their thoughts on the game. That was really fun. And then I think we beat Norwich City under Zisco as well. I went crazy then.
I used to dream for times like this.
But yeah, usually I'm quite reserved. If you're there in person, it's more exciting, isn't it, rather than watching from home?
Exactly. Yeah. How much added time for Watford now? Let's quickly have a look. 4 minutes added time. 4 minutes to salvage something.
Oh, I don't think we will.
Coventry are going for it. I've not seen us have a proper attack yet. It's been all Coventry in the second half.
Here's Wrexham on the attack, though. Could be a 4 for them. And it goes behind for a corner.
Ben Sheaf gets man of the match for Coventry. Been very, very good, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Good finish for the second goal as well.
Most shots and possession won in the game as well.
Ah, dear.
Another day, another match being a Watford fan.
Another day, another disappointing day to be a Watford fan, as you say.
I love how we were buzzing in the first half as well. We were winning 2-0. Life was good. We were up to 8th. Everything was so good.
Let me just lie back for a second and just just basically. Oh God!
I think you're in a bit of a fever dream there, James. I think it's good that you've woken up now.
Let me just pretend it's still 2-0.
Your imagination works wonders sometimes.
I think that's it for me. Even being the optimist I am, I think that is it for the playoffs. Clearly,
I think this game's ended. Now, if we won, I reckon we still had a chance. But yeah, I think it's dead in the water now. Very, very sadly.
Well, 2 minutes left to go.
I think it was dead in the water in the Huddersfield game, to be honest. But it's now pretty much confirmed we're nowhere near good enough for playoffs. It's such a crying shame what's happened to this football club. It really is.
Rouge going for a run there, just not quick enough.
Here comes their right back who's been involved in a hell of a lot of action. This guy with an afro.
So a couple of minutes left to go, Cal. We were wrapping up the stream in just a moment. So just summing up the game. Looks like it's going to end 2-2 unless a miracle happens. What's your overall thoughts? First half, really, really good. Watford dominant, 2 goals, 2 very good goals. Joao Pedro and Imran Louza getting on the score sheet. And then silly goalkeeping really from Ben Hamer. And then after that, it's really been all Coventry, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a capitulation in the second half for sure. I mean, 2 goals up, we were really cruising, and then obviously an absolute disgraceful set of goalkeeping there by Ben Hamer, letting the first goal. And then the second goal, just a very good finish from Ben Sheath, the right player at the right time, getting inside the box, and Ben Hamer had no chance. So, yeah, it's just a real shame. And Coventry just on one last attack here goes in for the shot, saved by Ben Hamer. It's not collected well though. It's a catastrophe in the box, and that is cleared by Watford in the end.
That could have been 3-2 to Coventry there.
It really could have. If Ben Hamer wasn't there in the right time, because he was very oriented towards the left there. If he didn't get back in time and gone to the right, that could have been 3-2. So we're playing it very risky. But yeah, we've got 20 seconds left on the clock, and I think this is another bore draw. Well, I wouldn't say it's a bore draw because it's been.
No, it's been exciting to watch. It's just been frustrating equally as well. And that's going to be the last kick of the game. 10 seconds left to go.
One last kick of the game here. One last Watford attack, maybe. No, we're playing it at the back, and that is it. 2-2. That is it. Full time. 2-2. Watford Coventry.
Oh, there we go. So I suppose we'll wrap up the stream. Just giving both our final thoughts on the game. First, I just want to say thank you to Cal for joining me once again today. It feels like the old streams we used to do last season. So thank you very much for that. Cal, sum up the game. As we just said, good first half, awful second half. The difference in the game is really poor goalkeeping by Ben Hamer. Lifts the Coventry players' confidence. All Coventry second half really, wasn't it?
Definitely. I mean, it was all us first half. I think we definitely took a lot of cruise control within the first half. Obviously, getting those 2 goals. A great finish by Louza to get the second goal. And Joao Pedro just doing what Joao Pedro does best, getting that first goal. But I think going deeper into the second half, we just shown that we completely capitulated for some reason. I don't think we really could have done much about the first goal. That was all on Ben Hamer, in my opinion. I think he easily could have saved that. It's gone up for it. If that was a diving save, by all means, that easily would have been a goal kick or a corner. Sorry, because it definitely would have gone out if it was a diving save. But yeah, he definitely could have saved that. Second goal, nothing you could do about it. It was just a great finish by Ben Sheath. So it could have been 2-1, and we definitely could have won. But yeah, it's just again another capitulation and just another draw, another game being a Watford fan.
Notts County penalty in the 96th minute of extra time to make it 3-3 in this game. Let's just see what happens here. I
think we've got to stay on for this.
Ben Foster,
come on, Benny.
Goal for Wrexham. Can Ben Foster save Wrexham's title ambitions? The ball set on the penalty spot.
Come on,
Here
Ben.
We go. And penalty taken. Ben Foster saves it!
Go on, Ben!
Ben Foster saves it!
Go on, Ben!
God.
Ben Foster, that is
Ben
what he does
Foster
best.
For Wrexham.
Comes out of retirement and probably just won in the league.
Oh my God.
He comes in where he came in not even a month ago and he's just probably won in the league.
I can't believe it. Wow, what a
Watford
way
boy
to end.
doing what he does best.
Let's just finish
Keeping them.
watching this Wrexham game quickly before we go.
There's
And
like the
Wrexham have
seconds left.
won.
And Wrexham, wow. Talk about a last-minute drama.
Ben
Foster
that'll be good
comes in as a
content for his
replacement.
vlog.
Yeah, oh my God, that vlog is going to be beaming. But yeah, like, that's crazy, man. Like, he comes in. That's like what? Not even a few weeks ago he came in as a replacement, and now he's just practically won Wrexham the league now. I think
Foster comes out of retirement to play under a team owned by Deadpool himself, saves
and they win the league
against Notts County in the 96th minute.
That is fairy tale.
Wow. Unbelievable stuff. Well, that's the one positive from today. Good to see Ben.
Yeah, I was going to say,
doing bits at Wrexham. Unfortunately for Watford, it wasn't to be. But yeah, it is what it is. Thank you so much for you guys for watching. Thanks so much for Cal for joining me. Obviously, you can check out his Instagram page at the Hornets House. He hasn't been posting much lately due to Watford being so awful.
If you want to see my post, then you definitely can. It just basically explains in a microcosm why I haven't been posting. Yeah. But if our fortunes do turn around, I'm going to be. I hope, but I'm going to definitely look to post at the start of next season. Get everything started. If we do get proper backing and we do spend in the first half in the like lead up to the next season, I'll definitely be posting, creating more edits. But for now, still just to have the motivation, and it's proof today. You can bottle this game, and I spent hours on my edits, as you can probably see now. I don't obviously blame my own horn too much, but I spend a long time making my edits. But if the players aren't willing to reciprocate that, and the management is bringing this club further and further down where it should nowhere near be, it's unacceptable where we are, then I just don't feel like really posting, and as me being a bad content creator, it's just I'm losing a lot of patience with this club at the moment.
Just before we go, the Resma says good game from a Coventry City fan. Yeah, it was a good game to watch, but yeah, for Watford, for Coventry, it's going to be hard for both of us to get into their flow positions now.
And then just one quick thing I want to cover first. A very, very controversial opinion, but it's opinion nonetheless, from Felipe Gago. I do apologize if I've said that wrong. Saying, I keep faith in the Pozzos. What are your thoughts on that, James?
Thoughts on that? They've done a lot of good for the club. Obviously, getting us to the FA Cup final. I just think we've been mismanaged terribly since 2019, really. And yeah, for me, they just need to come out and communicate. I think Watford can all accept. I think we can all accept losing football matches. I think what frustrates us is just a lack of communication from the hierarchy, and just we want to know what the plan is and the direction we're going in. So I'm thankful for all the success we've had in the past, FA Cup final, 5 years in the Premier League, etc., etc. But I just think we need some communication from the Pozzos as well. So I think that's where we'll leave the stream off. Thanks so much for watching. As I mentioned earlier, thanks to Cal. Match reaction will be out later this evening, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
See you guys.